Dear brother, most of us aren't afraid of failure. Most of us ain't afraid of hard work. You know what we're afraid of? Silence. Because silence, when there's no applause, there's no distractions, it's just you to face you and your own truth. That's where the real battle begins for most of us men. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Dear Brother podcast where grown men keep growing. Let's talk about silence for a minute, bro, because we all need it. We like to avoid it, but we all need it. In fact, I found my greatest self when I was in silence. When there was nobody to talk to and nothing to run from, I had to find myself then. In fact, I just came to pick up my daughter from school, and she's in aftercare. So, I was going to go get her. And then something says, sit here for a minute, And so, of course, I'm shooting a podcast, but I learned something from silence, man. I want to share with y'all today. You know what? The first thing that silence does is it forces us to confront ourselves. It forces us to see us. It forces us to hear our own thoughts. Sometimes you can sit around, you can sit at the bar, you can sit around friends. We click that TV on. I'm a boxing fan, man, so I can watch boxing all day. We always find something to do, and we think there's nothing wrong with it. And initially, it's not. But if you really search your life, there's a lot of times where you avoid silence at all costs, right? Because what happens is distractions help us to avoid a lot of stuff. It helps us to avoid the deeper issues in our life. A lot of the past mistakes we made, some of the regrets we had, or a lot of the fears that we still wrestle with. It allows us to get away from all those things, and allows us to get away with not dealing with those things. See, what silence becomes is silence becomes a mirror for men. It becomes a mirror for us. And it reflects the things. It puts it right in our face, the things that we don't always want to see or deal with at all. But there's nowhere to run because silence makes it so. Even when we take that run or we do that exercise, we put those earbuds in, you know what I mean? Again, I'm not making these things wrong. I'm just trying to show us where there's times in our life where we avoid silence. Sometimes we don't even know it, right? But I'm saying there's a time in your life where we need to start running toward that silence so we can get clarity about ourselves. The noise doesn't let us do that, man. And see, that same noise doesn't let us be free as we should be, or give the time to certain thoughts that we should. There's some stuff, man, you could have got over by now. There's some stuff you could have been free from by now if you just sat and thought about it. It can be a scary thing, man. It can be a scary thing to look at the mistakes we made. It can be a scary thing to look at the relationships we lost or ruined. It's a scary thing to look at the mistakes we made as fathers to say, man, I could have did that a lot different. My older kids are in their teenage years now, right? And we got the baby where now the baby is 7, but what I look up and I see, wow, it was some stuff that I do with her that I didn't do with my kids because I was running around so much. I had to learn that in silence just by watching myself with her and said, wow, you know what I mean? I had to go to my kids and say, man, I might have missed some things. Not because I wasn't a good dad or wanted to be involved. I was working so hard to try to provide for them. And I had to realize that as much as I was giving them, a lot of times what they needed was me. We learned a lot in stillness. We learned a lot in stillness, man. Society always conditions us to do what? Keep on going, keep on grinding, team, no sleep, hustle, 2-3 jobs. Society is worship to be productive, right? But are we really being productive if we're not right within? I don't see where we're really being as productive. Or maybe we can be really productive if we were right within, right? It's the fear of aloneness sometimes where it's not loneliness, but aloneness is a different thing than loneliness, right? A lot of times the feeling of aloneness, it makes you start thinking about the times in your life where, man, you could have done things different. There's a lot of consequences to avoiding this silence, man. Poor decision making. We make a lot of poor decisions when we won't sit with stuff before we just do it. How many times have we just moved out on stuff? We just made this move because we felt emotionally that's what we had to do, or we let stress make us just go out there and make this move, and we didn't really consider like we could have. And not that every decision was the worst decision in the world, but could have been a better decision if we gave ourselves more time to think through. Some of us know what it is. Tired of stress. Stress increase all the time. Burnout on your back. Right? And you know what that comes from? It comes from never pausing. It comes from never stopping to chill and consider what's really going on in my life. It's never pausing to see who deserves my time, who doesn't deserve my time. How many people in our life, because we won't give ourselves a chance to pause to see who these people really are. Are they adding or subtracting? How many shallow relationships do we have in our life because distractions won't let us see whether these things are genuine connections or not? See, sometimes you got to pause, man, just to take a look, a 360 of your life. I teach this often, man. You can climb a mountain, and in the climb, all you're looking at is where you're going. But sometimes we hate the flat out times where nothing's really happening, or plateaus. That's the word I'm looking for. We hate plateaus because we don't feel like we're climbing anywhere. But plateaus are some of the best times in your life because those are the times you can really stop and do a 360, look around, who's here, who's really with me, who's only here for what I can produce, but not here for the person I am. See, that's what that plateau allows you to do. Don't despise plateaus. You can't always be climbing because sometimes you got to stop to see who's actually with you or who may be pulling on your leg that don't really want you to go where your mind and your soul wants you to go. See, the constant productivity thing in our life is a myth. The constant hustle, I got to get this money, get this. See, silence helps you get you. There's nothing wrong with getting that stuff, but are you coming along on the journey for where you're going? See, being busy doesn't always mean you're being effective, man. Always running around doing this don't mean you're getting nothing done. You could just be burning energy you need for the things you actually need to get done in your life. At the end of the day, man, true productivity comes from a clear mind. I teach leaders often, comes from a happy heart. Y'all see me here, I keep on talking about teaching. Yeah, I teach often. If you're watching and you want to book me to come to your organization, talk to your men, your church, your masjid, whatever it is, I'll come. Go on christianwinners.com, man. Hit that booking button. I'll be glad to come wherever you are, whatever center, wherever you are, bro. I'll come talk to your men. It'll be a good time, man. It's Dear Brother Live podcast. Dear Brother Live. I'm going to come to you. But check that out. See, there's power in solitude. And solitude is different than isolation. Don't get those two mixed up. Solitude is different than isolation. See, solitude is a choice. I'm choosing to put myself over here so I can grow. So I can grow and go better and grow and do things more with a clear mind and a happy heart. Isolation is different than isolation makes you avoid things. It makes you run from the discomforts instead of facing them because ultimately it's those discomforts that ultimately make you the man of your own dreams. See, there's a big difference, right? So don't isolate. Isolate puts you in a place where shame starts to deal with you. Also, man, I got a book on my website right now, an ebook I just put out called Breaking Shame. Getting shame out of your life. Go check that out, christianwinners.com. Go grab that today. But see, the solitude is different. So solitude is your choice to go and do better. Isolation is when you're running from your family, running from people that love you, running from people that's trying to make you better. You don't want to do that, bro. Don't escape the people that love you. Escape the people that's trying to destroy you. But only silence a lot of times allows you to really see the difference. You got to learn to sit with discomfort sometimes. Discomfort is that growing place, right? Sometimes it's uncomfortable to sit in that silence, right? But sit in that chamber, right? Sit in that chamber. Sometimes it can feel like torture because you never really had to do it. Sit in that silent chamber because discomfort is a teacher, right? It reveals the places in your life where you need to be healed. The places you've avoided. Some of us have places in our life we avoided for now 15, 20 years, 30 years. But discomfort is a teacher, man. Let it teach you. Don't box discomfort away or don't box discomfort out. Being uncomfortable, man, will make you really dive within and see where you're really at. See, because it's resilience that you need. And that's what that silence builds in you. It builds a resilience. Facing discomfort makes you resilient instead of trying to get out of Dodge. Instead of trying to get out of, even there's some arguments and things you had, some disagreements you had with people. You know what silence does? Silence will make you rehash the conversation and say, yo, was I wrong on that? Did I see that wrong? It really makes you test you, bro, so that everybody else is not to blame in your life. Because that's not manhood. Manhood is when you stop blaming everybody and see what you could have did better, right? And we can always look around and say, oh, this person's fault and that person's fault. But it's nothing like really digging in on yourself and saying, yo, could I did that better? Could I looked at that better? Right? Silence sharpens the places in your life that you run from, man. So let's do it, man. You don't want to always run. You're a bigger man. You're a better man. So go after it, bro. Go after it. Slow down so you can make clear decisions. The best leaders in the world, the best thinkers throughout the world that we all respect, you know, they valued that silence because it was reflection time in their lives. They valued it because it made them grow. It made them make better choices, power choices that changed the world around them. See, there's a definite connection, man, between silence and masculinity, especially, right? Grounded man, the grounded man, grounded men, like you, like me, or men we're trying to get to. You know what I mean? Some of us are not grounded, right? It took me a long time to get grounded, man, and I'm still trying to make sure I stay there. See, when a grounded man is comfortable with his own presence, liking yourself, loving yourself, and willing to challenge yourself. See, real men, we don't need constant noise, right? And a lot of times when we need constant noise is because we are lacking the inner stability that we need to make the right choices, to do the right things, right? So there's a lot of practical steps, man, stuff I've tried. Take 5 minutes a day with no distractions. Just sit there. It's a practice of peace. I wouldn't call it meditation. Just 5 minutes with no distractions. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to ponder some things, right? I'm not going to argue with myself. I'm just going to ponder. I'm just going to think. I'm not going to go back and forth with myself. A lot of times silence will make you do that, argue with yourself. So it's not, these silence I'm talking about, it's not time to argue. It's just time to ponder. Time to ponder. Even time to decide. Take that walk. Do that workout. I know it's going to seem weird, but do it without the headphones for a while. Because there's nothing like getting that body going, right? And that mind goes with that healthy body, man. You know what I mean? Journal. Don't think journaling is a female trait. I think men should journal more because we have so much to carry in our lives. We got so much to face. I think men should journal more than women, right? See, ultimately, man, the bottom line is you got to become the peace you want everybody else to be for you, right? And how you do that, you become at peace with yourself. When you can sit down in silence and feel peace, you start to master yourself. Because true strength, bro, is found in stillness. It won't ever be found in constant movement. It'll be found in the stillness that you may have been running from. Hey, man, I love you. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Dear Brother Podcast community where grown men keep growing. Hey, I got live shows coming up too, y'all. Live shows. I'm starting some live shows, 2 per week. Friday, Relationship Friday. We'll be talking about relationships, all the stuff that comes with relationships. We're going to challenge ourselves. We're going to look at these women. We're going to really look at relationships, how this thing goes, what love is, why is it so broken. We're going to look at it all. And on Sundays, I'll be doing some spiritual awakening stuff. Every Sunday, both of those are going to be at noon, right? This Friday, some of y'all going to watch this video. This Friday, my daughter gets out of school early, so I got to push it to 1:30. I'll put an announcement in the community room about that. But every Friday, every Sunday, Relationship Friday, 12 noon on Friday, Eastern Standard Time. And on Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, noon, spiritual growth, bro. Hey, man, stand tall. I'm proud of you. Love you, love you, love you. You matter. You hear what I'm saying? Listen, we're going to end it like we always do. Yesterday was history and tomorrow's a mystery. All you got is right now, my brother. What you going to do with it? What you going to do about it? Until next time, bro, I'll see you soon. Peace.